Hello, welcome to Simply Organic's 2021 webinar on goal setting. Thank you all so much for being here today. Today's webinar is all about starting with new beginnings and really just renewing, refreshing, and rejuvenating to get set to accomplish great things in 2021. Today, I have a dynamic group of speakers who will be sharing with you some tips and strategies and how we can stay self-motivated, how we can stay encouraged and driven to really accomplish all the goals and achieve all the things that we want to get in life in terms of success and finances and health and wellness and really just overall well-being. So I thank you guys for joining us here today. I know we come off the heels of a really difficult 2020. Many of us have faced so many challenges that has brought us to so many different levels of difficulties and has impacted us in so many different ways. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to just putting 2020 behind us, sort of wrapping it up in a little bow and saying goodbye, and let's start over in 2021. So we really have to look forward to progress and success and good health and well-being and all the things that you want to achieve in life. So writing down your goals and affirmations is great. But the hard part is actually following through and understanding how to meet those small milestones so you can get the end result. So I hope you guys find today's webinar very informative and valuable. I have two great speakers who will be talking to you a lot about how to stay, focused. That mindset is one of the most important things that Simply Organic always talks about. I always say how you have to feed yourself positive thoughts every day. So this webinar will be celebrating that in the new beginning. So thank you guys all for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy the webinar. See you soon, guys. Hello, welcome everybody to the 2021 goal setting webinar. Thank you all so much for being here today, and helping us kickstart the 2021 year with positive vibes and energy. I'm looking forward to it. I know coming off of a very unprecedented 2020, we've all faced some challenges and difficulties, but we're looking forward to new beginnings for 2021 and really jumpstarting the year with some positive vibes. So I have two dynamic speakers with us here today who's going to be talking about some great topics to really help us understand how to stay motivated, how to stay encouraged to really set and meet our goals. So welcome to my guests. First one is Felina Monzone, who is the co-founder of DM Digital. Jenny, I'm so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
And I know you are a positivity warrior. You're always about encouraging people, staying focused, so we love it.
I try to be.
And next, we have Laura Ambrose, who is a professor of psychology and a mental health advocate, and also the writer of the blog Mental Health Being. Hey, Laura, thanks for joining us here today.
Hi, thanks for having me again. And Happy New Year,
absolutely.
everyone.
So
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're jumping up this new year with some positive vibes. And so, one of the things I definitely want to jump right into is sort of understanding the behavioral aspect of wanting to really stay focused on wanting to set and meet those goals. There's sort of like a mindset that has to shift and a behavioral aspect that has to transform in order for one to really feel self-motivated. So Laura, coming from your background and teaching kids and things like that, what tips and strategies do you have for us to really understand how can we stay self-motivated and encouraged and sort of driven to meet our goals?
Right. Well, I think it's really important to identify our intentions and be very crystal clear about exactly what it is that we want. We need to be able to have clarity when it comes to our goals, because I think the universe responds to exactly what it is that we want. So envisioning and really putting out there what it is that we want and knowing exactly what it is that we want will help us in manifesting our reality and really getting what we want. And in psychology, we actually have the goal setting theory, which involves three aspects. The first one being specific, and that means that you really have to be very clear with what it is that you want. Challenging in the sense that, yes, it will take some sacrifice, but it will be worthy in the end. and attainable, that you're worthy of the goals that you are setting forth for yourself. I mean, we probably should start with attainable first, right? Because if you don't think you're worthy of your goals, then there's no point. So you really have to see it, visualize it. Like, what would your office look like, for example? Like, what degrees would you have, like, displayed
Right.
on
So
the
make
wall?
sure you're sort of writing it down to make it actually
Yes,
realistic. And so
yes.
having that consistency. And I know, Jenny, being an entrepreneur and, you know, helping other clients sort of find this, the attainable part is really important also. You know, how do we make sure that the goals are attainable and actually realistic, right? We want to be able to set realistic goals that sort of align with our own lives and our own strategies, right?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you have to be aligned with your values, exactly what Laura said, with
Hmm.
knowing what it is that you want, manifesting that, you know, like you said, writing it down, and being able to go back and reference it, you know, on a daily basis and remember why you even wrote that down in the first place or why you want, you know, to achieve that goal in your life. So these are all very important things.
Right. And definitely having that consistency. I mean, I have my own book of goals and affirmations that I wrote down, which is great. But, you know, some days I forget to open that book and actually read
Yeah.
them. So I feel like that's sort of like, you know, me having to self-motivate. And Laura, like you just said, making sure that you have that consistency.
Absolutely. And I think when it comes to consistency, sometimes we get frustrated. Like with learned helplessness, it's easy to feel frustrated, especially because sometimes when we're hoping for things and we're working so hard and we're like not seeing any kind of like positive reinforcement or any kind of like escape from anything that we're seeing that's negative, it's so easy to get frustrated and feel stuck, you know? But that's when we have to just kind of hold on to hope, because I think when it comes to this, especially with this term that I'm speaking about, learned helplessness, it's really meant for us to kind of push us out of our comfort zone. And we're really creatures of habit. We get way too comfortable, you know?
Right.
And the
That's a good
whole
point.
point of that, right, is to just kind of like shake us and rock us and say, no, you should have more. You're deserving of more. And there's more out there for you. You just have to see it and work towards it.
Right.
And I think that's like the whole point of learned helplessness, is to really just motivate us, right? To not get too comfortable and to see that we are deserving of so much more and worthy of so much more, because we are.
Right. And you know, it's something interesting what you said too. I think it's important that we sort of focus on the progress that we're making and trying to meet our milestones rather than the end result. What do you ladies think about that?
Absolutely, because I mean, those little steps are going to add to big results in the end. I mean, you should also always have your end result in mind, but then you
Right.
have to like reverse engineer that. You know, I think we'll talk about that in a little bit, but like, you know, writing down your action plan of how you're going to achieve all these things. One thing that I just wanted to mention real quick is like Laura, totally spot on about we are creatures of habit. You know, we have to break those mental barriers, you know, like, and believe that we are worthy of more. Exactly what you said. I love all of that. I mean, that is really important.
And it's really about talking to ourselves and giving ourselves that confidence and that boost that we need, especially when you come off a year of like what we've all had and all the
Oh,
difficulties. And how do we stay motivated? Like I know some of us, we all feel some part of us feels broken by all the events of 2020. So really trying to piece that back together and sort of stay in that calm vibe and try to really move forward is difficult, right?
It is. I really like what you said, Jenny, about having that end goal and seeing ultimately what you want your vision to be.
yeah,
And I think that's so powerful, because sometimes you really just have to work your way backwards, right?
yeah,
In order to have what it is that you want in the end.
exactly.
It's easier sometimes to just approach it that way. And I think a lot, there's definitely like motivational blockers, right? We get stuck. It happens. And I think for me, it's usually procrastination, you know, guilty right
I think
here.
that's everybody.
Right? Oh my gosh, yeah. But you know, I saw that there's a unique way of looking at it. Procrastination is, you know, we always think we have time, but there's no guarantee of it if
Right.
you really think about it. So we have to work as if there's no excuses. right? No excuses, no distractions, although it's easy to get distracted, like by phone, by TV. It's so easy. I think the noise of others and the opinions of others kind of messes with us too. Like we tend to
Right.
compare ourselves, right? And these could be like huge motivational blockers. And also perfection, this sense of idealism, right? Like we tend to say want to be this perfect self, but no one is perfect.
Right. And I think you made a really good point. I know Jenny's always been about this, surrounding yourself with positive people, really the tribe that you keep, the group of
Yes.
friends that you keep. And I know I've learned this from Jenny too. You know, we always say that you said the influence that you have is really important.
So important.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, the saying is like, you are like the 5 people that you hang out with, right? Like the
Right.
most.
Yeah.
So you should 100% surround yourself with do-gooders, people that believe in you, people that are going to push you to be better and challenge you, you know, people that want to see you win, right? That's important. I think that is an important factor in trying to keep yourself motivated, you know, and
Right,
accountable.
exactly. And Laura, you mentioned, you know,
Mhm.
distractions. So life is there. There are distractions. You know, we have kids, we have jobs, we have the
Yes.
house, we have a million things going on. And Jenny, you are an entrepreneur. You also work full time.
Yeah.
And every time I call you, you're working and you're focused and you're like on top of things. How do you do it? I think it's important that we sort of try to understand the time management aspect of it, the work-life balance.
Yeah, no, it's funny that you say that because my husband said, and I learned from him, that he doesn't believe that there's such thing as time management because you can't manage time, right? You have to manage yourself with your time, right?
Good point.
So, and exactly what you said, I mean, you guys have families, you know, you have kids. I don't, but I do have a full-time job. You know, we have our agency. And then on top of that, as like the super women that we try to be, right? Like taking on everything and being able to do everything or thinking we could do everything,
Right.
you know, working out, you know, cooking, you know, taking care of the house and everything, you know, and ourselves. So I like literally have everything on my phone. Like I have Google Calendar. So it's one of the tools that I use. And it's, I plan my day. So I have blocks of time, right? So obviously from like 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I'm at my full-time job. And then afterwards I work a few hours here at home for our business. But then you also, you know, I have my workout scheduled in there, you know, things like that, any meetings, but I have them color coded. So like for me, pink is my favorite color, right? So pink to me is fun. So I schedule my time in pink, like anything that, like if I have a vacation coming up, which really there's no vacations right now because no one's traveling, right? So, but if I did have a vacation, it would be in pink, you know, and then yellow is maybe like my content creation days when I'm doing things for clients, you know, blue maybe is for my meetings. So like when I look at my calendar, everything is super pretty and it makes me happy to look at. I know that sounds crazy.
Oh, that's so organized.
It makes me
That's
feel
awesome.
organized. Like I have my life together. Do I stick to it all the time? No, you know, like, because life
But
happens,
you made the
right?
initiative to put it together, which is the first step, like you said.
And there's no excuse because if you have a smartphone, there, like everything's on there. Notes, you know, your calendar, voice recordings, you know, to give yourself reminders, you know. And if you don't, you have like I have like several planners right here, like of everything, you know. So if you like pen and paper, so that's really how you have to do it. You have to stay really organized because if you, there's also a saying that says like if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. You know, you're not going to get things done if you don't plan it. You know, you can have all the like the intentions or want or say it over and over and over, but like if you're not taking the action and actually organizing your life, you know, and planning everything, you're not going to get it done.
Right.
So true.
And you mentioned, I know, a couple important tools. So I think you said the Google Calendar. And so what other tools or resources do you recommend for, you know, the community that's listening that can really help them stay on top of their goals? And there's so many different ones. And like you said, if you have a smartphone, you have access to so much, but we may not always know that what that particular app is for.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, you can have a regular planner that you write everything down. If you don't want to invest in a regular like planner, then you have pen and paper and all you need to do is write your date, you know, and then your things to do and your checklist, write your goals on there. Your iPhone has that, or your Android has everything you need. There's another app that we use for our business, but you can also use it for personal. It's called Trello. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. but it's an app, and then there's boards on it. My husband loves this. And there's boards on it, and then you can put within those boards like different tasks and checklists, attachments, things like that. So that's another one that I would recommend to use. But me personally, I mean, I really stick to my calendar and my planners.
Right. So also what I want to talk a little bit about is sometimes we get stuck on, you know, we have all these goals and maybe we try to set like 5 to 10 goals, whatever it was, but it's a lot. So how do we start tracking these goals? How do we say that we're meeting the important milestones, or how do we even start setting those milestones? What do we use as markers?
So, I mean, okay, so like I said before, you have your end result in mind. So for example, one of my goals is to lose like the final 25 pounds, right? Because I lost like 20 last year, but then I gained a few back because of the holidays.
Oh, you're allowed for the holidays.
Okay, you know, like it's a new year, I'm getting myself back on track. So, you know, I want to lose 25 pounds, right? And like Laura mentioned, it's attainable, right?
Right.
You know, it's specific. You know, I want to lose 25 pounds by maybe in like 5 months or something like that. So when I reverse engineer that, it's like, okay, if I have 5 months and I want to lose 25 pounds, then that's like 5 pounds a month, right? So like, what do I have to do within the, you know, that month to be able to lose 5 pounds? What am I eating? You know, when am I going to meal plan my stuff? You know, it's also going to be measurable because I have a scale, right? So I can weigh myself every so often. So you have to determine what your plan is and what those markers are going to be like, you know, so you really just have your end result in mind, where your overall goal is, and then go back and then list your plan of action and what those baby steps are going to be to get you there. You know, and like you said, progress, you know, those little steps are going to add to big results in the end.
Absolutely.
You know, don't get discouraged, you know, if you don't reach those goals, it's okay, you know, like it's fine as long as you're making progress.
Right. And that's a really important part for people to understand. I know for myself, you know, as I'm diving into my health journey, and maybe some days I don't see progress, but I'm exercising, I'm eating healthy, I'm taking all the vitamins, and maybe the progress isn't there. But I think it's important that you just try to stay on track and not feel let down or not feel discouraged, because that's when the goals go to the garbage and then you sort of forget what you're working on.
And we're human. If we don't see results right away, of course we get discouraged and we're like, oh, it's not working. I'm just going to like eat everything in sight, or I'm not going to like, you know, whatever your goal is. Like, so no, we can't. We have to break those mental barriers.
We do. And I think it's important also to like incentivize ourselves, you know, like look forward to things, you know, like our little treats, you know, it's like, okay, if I get this amount of work done, then I could look forward to catching up on that book or series that I really wanted to, you know. So that's
there's so many Netflix shows these days. Catching up on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, how do we meet our goals in this Netflix?
Oh my God, no. Speaking of though, but this is relevant because I just watched Marie Kondo's Tidying Up, right, on Netflix.
How was it?
It was so good. I literally the next morning took all my clothes from my closet and my armoire and dressers. I piled it all on the bed, you know, and I'm going through it now. Like it's like a giant mountain, but you know, I'm trying to get like organized and tidy and like, you know, start this year fresh. You know?
Right. So you're saying Netflix could actually be helpful in trying to meet our goals?
So.
All right, so we'll take that one for the books.
Yeah, that was just a side note there. So, yeah.
I think so. You know, and I think everything like what we've been talking about has been great. I do. I think even like we could also, we kind of tend to like block our blessings too. I think like we can with our frustration, if you will. So I just wanted to kind of like go back to that area. I think we kind of think like we're not worthy of, you know, the our goals or what we intend on having. And I think we kind of get stuck in that cycle. And we have to break out of that. Like we have to see that they are truly attainable and we are really worthy of it. And once we start believing that, then we will rise up to that. Like our energy level will rise up to that, exactly that, and we'll start actually believing fully that it is worthy. We are capable of achieving whatever it is that we set our mind to. So
yeah,
yeah,
self-motivation.
mm-hmm.
I know. And speaking of that, one of the things that I have, so I want to share quickly, I have this book called Thought of the Day. So me and my kids, we try to open it every morning and read like a thought of the day. It's something that keeps us like sort of motivated and helps us to stay encouraged. So I mean, I think this is something that people can probably sort of think about. And you can pick it up at like a CVS or like a grocery store, anywhere. I actually got this as a gift from somebody very special. And I think it's so useful. I think it's like just really encouraging. So I think that it's important, like you're saying, to stay self-motivated and stay, you know, focused that we can achieve this. And I think things like this can just help us along the way.
I think it's beautiful that you share that with your girls, you know, like that's great.
Yeah.
That's something they could like look forward to sharing, and then you could like talk about the meaning, and if they saw like any meaning throughout the day, like if they could connect like what was that positive thought in that morning, and if they noticed like any subtle signs of it throughout the day, which is so cool.
That's a good point.
You know, there's always somehow it shows up, right? Like you don't really realize it, but it's like, okay, was that random? Was that really so random? You know? So sometimes these things, and you kind of look for like the signs, and they're there.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, like you do share that with your daughters every day, to work out that mindset muscle, because we are capable in like an instant to shift our mindset, right? And like when we're thinking negatively, saying negative things about ourselves, you know, we can easily shift that, you know. And for me, I like to, you know, listen to motivational podcasts. You know, there's so many self-help books out there too. I mean, there's no reason that, I mean, we're all busy, but there's no reason you can't plug into like a 5-minute audio, you know, or watch a 2-minute video.
No excuses.
While you're scrolling through Facebook or something that's like motivational or inspirational, right? Because that's how you're going to keep yourself, you know, like positive and, you know, and just, I don't know.
Right. And like you both are saying, it's really about planning out your day and sort of understanding what the priorities are. I mean, I feel like some days I sit at my computer all day, but did I get anything done? You know, it's like I got to really figure out, focus in on the strategy and try to understand like what the priorities are. Because then you will sit there some days and not feel like you've done anything productive to move ahead. So
I mean, some people. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jenny.
No, I'm saying like some people love checklists, you know, like pen to paper and have a list of things, and then just have that satisfaction or the gratification of just being able to check something off.
Right. So true. That's like my husband. He has a checklist, like, but it seems like he never checks anything off of the list. So that's got to be discouraging.
For sure.
But no, this has been great.
Oh, sorry. Another thing though, because we're talking about goals, organization, you know, feeling worthy, mindset, all being positive. But let's talk very briefly. I think you wanted to talk about like self-care, self-love, you know, like because for me, for example, I cannot function properly without like 8 hours of sleep. You know, like I have to get a good night's sleep in order to do my best the next day, you know? So I think getting rest and not burning yourself out and not making yourself taking on so many goals and things in life, like, you know, you have to be able to rest.
Yeah, rest is really important. That's definitely one of the pillars to health. And I'm glad you brought that up, because part of really trying to achieve your goals is really making sure that you get your rest, you're exercising, you're feeling well overall, physically, mentally, and emotionally, or else you're not going to be able to really focus your mindset to want to achieve your goals. So I think that's really important, Jenny. That's, you know, making sure you get enough sleep, that you're eating healthy, what you put into your body is what you become. We all know that. We talk about that a lot. And really just feeding yourself, you know, those positive words every day.
Right. And also like even encouraging yourself, like how would you encourage a friend that was kind of like out of it, you know? Like that's how you want to talk to yourself, you know, that's how you want to self-motivate yourself. Like be your own best friend. You know, what is it that you would say?
And that's the hardest.
Yeah.
We're our own worst critic, you know.
We are horrible, aren't we?
So right.
Why are we so mean to ourselves? I don't understand that.
Yeah, guys are absolutely right, which is why it's probably so important to have another person, like an accountability partner, somebody that you can sort of talk to and who can help motivate you and keep you on track. You know, that's important too.
For sure.
So important, because then you can discuss it with them, discuss like, oh, I met this benchmark today, or, you know, I was working so hard on this and I was able to achieve it, and look what I did. And they can share that, celebrate those successes with you. That's so special.
Yeah, 100%, definitely.
So I'm currently in a text message group with 4 of my other girlfriends here in town, and every Monday we weigh ourselves. We're accountable to each other.
There you go.
From now until like April, and then we'll have a big party at the end. Social distance,
awesome.
Maybe via Zoom. I don't know how that's
Hopefully by then we'll be able to do actually be able to see people in person. We'll see. But that's great. I'm sure that helps keep you on track, right?
Oh yeah. For sure. It is a lot easier when you have like people, running right by your side.
Yeah, exactly. You need those cheerleaders that are on your side all the time. 100% agree.
And so, it's self-awareness also, because we were talking about like how we can be mean to ourselves, and we need to be our own best friends, like Laura said. But like we have to be more self-aware of the way we talk to ourselves, and then because self-awareness is the first step towards change. So we have to be more conscious of these things.
Absolutely.
Right.
It is so true.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been so explosive, so much information, so much value. We've got some lady empowerment going on here. You guys have any lasting thoughts or tidbits or anything that our community can take away from here?
Well, so I believe that we should all strive for greatness, that we all have greatness inside of us. It's just get organized, plan ahead, set yourself up to succeed and win. Find yourself a partner, a coach, mentor, reach out and keep it going. Don't beat yourself up, it's an ongoing journey. So we're absolutely capable of achieving all your goals.
Right. And it's important that people do recognize what you just said, Jenny, that it's an ongoing journey. I know for many people who are on a health journey, some people are working towards their finances, and people are just working on them and self-awareness. So everybody's on a different journey, and we all have to respect that as well and try to help each other out as much as we can. I always say uplifting other people helps you uplift yourself as well. So I think it's really important that we always lend a helping hand to others to help ourselves get ahead and succeed as well.
Absolutely. And just some last thoughts also. I think just be kind to everyone, and of course yourself. Because you just never know what people are going through, and people are going through so much, especially now. And I think it's just so important to just show and give a little kindness. It just goes a long way, and it doesn't hurt. You're not hurting anyone by doing them a kindness. If anything, it comes back to you.
Oh yeah.
Always. It always comes back to you in some way, some form. So
Beautiful. I love it. I love all of this.
We should feel really empowered and motivated after this.
And I love Super Jenny. I love Super Jenny.
So that's the goal. It's all about feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and renewed. I was just talking to somebody the other day about maybe let's just press that reset button and reset this year, and let's just get it going. I know 2020 was a tough year, but we've got to put it behind us. This is about new beginnings, starting fresh, feeling renewed, and just ready to take it on, right?
Absolutely. And there's no easy button, so you got to put in the work.
That's right.
100%.
That's right. And I think what's yours is already yours. It's already out there for you.
That's a great point. I love that.
Yes, it's already there. It's already out there for you. You just have to believe that you're worthy of it, because it's there for you already. You just have to reach out for it. Right. You have to go first.
I receive it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, like you said before, I think it was Laura that mentioned that you actually have to visualize it. And we talk about this so much. You really have to visualize what you want to achieve for it to become, it's kind of like rewiring the brain. I don't know if you guys listen to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I love him. I've
heard him. I've seen him in person once at a conference a few years ago. With my husband. My husband loves him. He's read his book. And
he's amazing. I do recommend anybody out there, if you haven't heard of him, he's amazing to go check out. He's really motivational. He's all about rewiring the brain to really understand how you can help yourself, heal or achieve all the things that you want to achieve. So he's amazing. So
free yourself from the memories of the past.
Yes, which is
Yes,
so
that's so
challenging. I'm
powerful.
working on that now, and I don't know, it's a tough one.
We all need to work on that.
Yeah, you know, I think it's important to know that we're all, like Laura, you said this too. Perfection is not, it's not there. Like everybody tries to strive for perfection, and
Right.
which is great, but we
Mhm.
all have flaws, and that's what makes us us in
Mhm.
individuality, and it's part of who we are, and we all have to sort of accept that and respect
Mhm.
that.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. It's just perfection and is nothing is perfect. Everything is somewhat flawed, and that's really what is the beauty of life and everything is because there are flaws.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this was amazing. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on this seminar and really just, you know, giving us some tidbits and strategies and tips to really stay focused and to really stay energized. And it's going to be a great 2021.
Yes, it
It
is.
will
Thank
be.
you so much for putting this together.
Yes, and to our listeners out there, stay tuned. We may have some more, you know, informative sessions coming up, maybe for next month. We will keep you posted about that. In the meantime, keep visiting us, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna do